All right, so things aren't looking great here. You can see in the past we have come to test the bottom of this green zone of support here, where we had an almost instant move out of it. But as you can see here, we've been kind of slowly trading through it to the downside, and currently we're testing the bottom of it. So we'll have to see if we get somewhat of a bounce here. If we turn on the Ichimoku cloud as well as the EMA ribbon on the daily, you can see that we haven't really tested the EMA ribbon all that much. It is widening and starting to catch up with the price action. So, if we do get a bounce here, we could very well find a rejection off the ribbon, which will probably be at the top of this box. See something like this. It is interesting to note that the Ichimoku cloud has turned green on the daily, but, right now it's not really doing a whole lot. So, really we'd all have to break this daily EMA ribbon to the upside, as this I don't think will provide much resistance or support really. If we take a look at the 4-hourly, it's not looking as great here. You can see though that we have broken above the EMA ribbon a few times here, although they were fake outs, but this is a good thing that we have been testing it so heavily. That means the next time we break it to the upside, we might actually use it as support. Each Ichimoku cloud is also getting smaller, which is a good sign, but it is coming within this box. And again, if we break below this, we could very well use it as resistance, especially if the indicators here start catching up with the price action. And ultimately, we'd also have to break above the 200 EMA on the 4-hourly. So really, if we're going to get a bounce here, it needs to happen relatively soon so we can break this to the upside, and really it needs to go above probably around $41,000. Then hopefully we can use the top of this as support if we do make it up here. I usually don't look at the monthly or the weekly charts for the most part, but you can see here on the monthly chart it's actually not looking that great. We have quite the substantial red candlestick to the downside here, and it actually closed at the very bottom, which usually, I'm not on a chart that has a whole lot of price history for Bitcoin here. I'm on a Coinbase chart, but usually candles like this end up in moves to the downside. If not, it'll be a red, green, red formation. So ultimately, for this to be bullish again, we really need to break above this red box of resistance here and make a bullish engulfing candle. Here you see we had a bullish engulfing candle when we had a decent move to the upside. Here we did not, and we did not have a decent move to the upside. And if we take a look at the weekly, again, it's not looking that great. Let me adjust the chart here real quick. But you can see we've been in quite the substantial downtrend since back in March. This weekly candle is about to close as well, so we could very well see something like this. We move all the way back down to this green box, which is around $29,000 to $30,000. You can see in the past when we've tested it, we've had substantial moves to the upside. So if you do move down to this green box and it does not hold support, really the only next zone or area of support I'm seeing is around $20,000, and this $20,000 level marks the 2017 top right here. You can see we had somewhat of a rejection here. If anything, it was just a little bit of resistance before we traded higher. But the reason why I am saying $20,000 is because if you look here, there is no price action being traded throughout here. It's just straight up. So what that means, if we have straight up price action here, I don't expect to find any resistance or support throughout this range. So, if we do find a bounce here, it could very well send us immediately to this green box. And if we break the green box to the downside, we could immediately see a drop to 20K. Now, when I say immediately, I'm talking, in a matter of weeks, since this is the weekly chart. But even then, that would be a 32% drop or so from the bottom of the green box, which is relatively large for Bitcoin in that such a short amount of time there. But in my opinion, this is probably worst case scenario. Look at the dollar index real quick, and I made a video on this, but you can see that we are actually testing the top of this red zone of resistance here yet again, and it looks like, it's finding some resistance right now. I guess really not right now since it's not open, but we'll just have to see what happens Monday. But on Friday, it did close red after about a week of green candles. Quick look at the fear and greed index. You can see for the past 3 days, we've been in extreme fear. We're currently at 22. Now, again, usually we see some type of move to the upside when we get into the extreme fear territory, but, this doesn't mean we can't still go lower. You see back here, we were in the 20s, and then we, fell lower all the way down to 11 or so. But you can also notice when we do fall into the teens that we instantly have a spike back upwards for the most part. Now, whether that lasts or not, is a whole different debate, but it's something worth a note. So something's up here. We really need to find support at the bottom of the screen box relatively soon. We need to break this previous high to the upside at around $41,000, as I mentioned previously. And hopefully that'll be enough to retest this red box yet again so we can see further price action to the upside. This red box spans between $44,000 and $45,000, almost 46. If we break down from here, we could break below this, retest it as resistance, and find ourselves at this green box below us. with spans anywhere between 29 and 30K. As of right now, a move like this is more on the table in my opinion, and it could even be something like this where we retest the top of the green box and then move down. And that's if Bitcoin does not have a move out of this box relatively quickly. And again, if we break this zone of support here, it really wouldn't be great. It could very well send us back down to 20K, which is all the way down to this red line here, which marks the 2017 high that Bitcoin set. So really watch out for a break much below, 37K. If we do have one, we'll likely test this as resistance and move all the way back down to the green box. So this is all I have for Bitcoin today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so as I try to post content daily. As always, this is not financial advice. I'll see you in the next one.